Okay, great. Let's get started with today's webinar. So thank you all again for joining us for the CreditorWatch webinar, Integrate Your Accounting Packages with CreditorWatch. We know that plenty of you joining us today are customers and plenty of you are not customers yet. So hopefully today's webinar is beneficial for both types. We're obviously going to have a look at the integration with specifically Xero and MYOB. They're the two accounting packages that we currently integrate with. And we're going to go through a bit of a live demonstration and also look at, the key features within that. So my name's Patrick and I'm the Managing Director at CreditorWatch. I've been here from day one, so I've got a fairly good understanding of how everything works. And, obviously want to give you a good demonstration today. So a few things that we're going to cover. Obviously, I'll just touch on who CreditorWatch is very briefly. We're obviously going to do the integration with, we're actually going to use Xero today, but if you use MYOB, the integration is like for like, other than obviously the Xero and MYOB logos swapped out. We'll have a look at obviously the feature and benefits at the end of that. And along the way, if you've got any questions, we do have a team standing by, fantastic team who give up their lunch break. Feel free to ask questions in the Q&A answer box, and they will get back to you as quickly as possible. If you obviously ask a question that's a little bit more complicated or complex, we'll organise a time to give you a call or send you an email in the next 24 hours. Generally, we get back to everyone within a couple of hours. So a little bit about CreditorWatch. We're Australia's leading commercial credit reporting bureau with over 50,000 customers across Australia. It's an easy to use platform, obviously, for those who are using us. I hope you agree. And we want to make it as streamlined as possible so that you can ultimately run all of your credit management through it. So be it running credit reports on new customers or existing customers when you want to do a review on them. Receiving alerts on customers that you're monitoring, so we can assist you in uploading your active customer list, or you can do it yourself one by one or bulk upload. We then send you email alerts as important changes take place. And then the third most important feature is our debt collection tools, and that's had quite a bit of work done to it over the last 6 to 12 months as we continue to invest in that technology, creating templates from nice, gentle reminder letters through to, more serious letter of demands where you're letting the outstanding debtor know that you're going to register a default against them and potentially commence legal action as well. So CreditorWatch really is affordable for everyone, all businesses, all sizes, from, as I've got here, sole traders through to public companies. So we've got plenty of the ASX 200 using us. However, we've literally got thousands and thousands of, small and micro businesses using us to really act as a virtual accounts receivable manager. Typically, you find that small businesses won't have a dedicated credit manager or accounts receivable manager, and CreditorWatch is certainly filling that gap for them. So the integration that we have, as I said, at the moment we integrate with Xero and MYOB, and we are looking at integrating with others later in the year. So if you do use others, I've got a poll coming up very soon, so let us know. But also when you do sign up to CreditorWatch, we ask you what accounting package you use. So we are aware of which ones are probably more popular, and then it's a case of ensuring that it's an integration with them is possible, becoming an add-on partner, and that's certainly something that we're keen to explore and enact later in the year because it's a fantastic service for our customers. So with the MYOB, we integrate with Essentials Live and AccountRight Live. They're the two smaller business cloud-based products that they have, and then obviously Xero, there's just that one cloud product that they have. So ultimately what we want to do is give you better insights when you're looking at credit reports. So we can show you, our typical credit report that you can access, but then we're also going to show you any outstandings or invoices that you have with that particular debtor, so you can see it all in one view. And we're doing a lot of automation. Every time you add a contact to your account in Xero MYOB, we're pushing a PDF credit report to you and assisting you with getting monitoring on that particular entity up and running as well. So what I'll do is I'll run a quick poll. Now I've got the Xero and MYOB logos there. However, I am going to give you the ability to tell me if you use a different one. So which accounting package do you use? And we've got here Xero, MYOB, Intuit's QuickBooks, or they could be, you could know them as QBO, QuickBooks Online, Reckon, which is Reckon One, their products, and then I've got other. As I said, we do capture the accounting package that you use when you sign up to CreditorWatch. There are others out there like Sage, for instance, but these four are the most popular ones used by our database at present. Give it another couple of seconds and we'll see how we go. And I think, to be honest, the results are a little bit surprising for me. So I'll bring them up now for you. Okay, so we've got Xero and MYOB obviously making up the majority of the accounting packages being used. No surprise there. QuickBooks, that's quite a surprise to have Xero because they're probably number 3 in the Australian market at the moment. Reckon, and then plenty of others. So I know that there has been a big shift around as to which accounting packages are being used in the last 12 to 24 months. So we will obviously investigate this a bit further to make sure that we are planning our development roadmap according to the packages that are being used the most or are the most popular at the moment. So thanks again for being involved in that poll. It gives us some really good insights for future development. So what I might do now is actually jump over into CreditorWatch and take you through the process to actually integrate. So I'm going to use Xero here. So you can see creditorwatch.com.au/Xero. Fingers crossed it comes together. Excellent. Now, the first time you do this, it's going to take you through an onboarding process. It's going to ask you if you want to monitor, all of your customers within your Xero or MYOB account, or you can just monitor your active ones. So take a second to have a think about that. Obviously, your active ones you should definitely be monitoring because they're the ones that pose a risk to you. If they go into administration, have court actions against them, or any sort of adverse event takes place, you want to be monitoring them so you receive an email alert. So by clicking monitor active ones, it's obviously going to add the active ones to your monitoring list within CreditorWatch. The other thing it will do is it will flag any high risk customers that you're doing business with. So very similar to your high risk list that exists on your CreditorWatch account within here, which is flagging any customers that you're monitoring within your CreditorWatch account. The high risk list within your Xero integration page, this portal that we're looking at, it takes it a step further. Rather than just showing the risk factor, it's actually going to show you how much is outstanding and overdue. So we can see here that I've got 6 companies that owe me money that I have invoices out to. Majority of them are overdue, and they all have varying risk factors attributed to them. So we can see payment defaults, court actions, mercantile inquiries. We've got a couple of entities here that the entity status is actually cancelled. So that could be that the ABN has been cancelled, or potentially I'm dealing with the wrong ABN itself. So it's a good way, good flag for me to get in touch with my customer and say, hey, what's going on here? Is your entity status cancelled, or have I got the wrong ABN on hand? Potentially they've sold the business, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's come back to the summary page. So once we get up and running, you integrate for that first time. It's really like integrating with any other add-on. You just enter your Xero or MYOB login details. We're a licensed add-on partner, so we don't actually capture that login information. You're logging in on the Xero page. They provide us with a token. We provide them with a token, and it allows for the data exchange to take place. From that, we're able to then populate this view that we're looking at now. So straight away, we can see all of our receivable summary taken straight from my Xero account into CreditorWatch. So I can start to dig a little bit deeper and get a better understanding of the sort of risks that are posed by the customers that I'm dealing with. I've added most of my customers to my monitoring list. However, if new ones come on board, or if I haven't done it the right way, it'll sit in this tab here, not monitoring. So we can see, okay, Denham Constructions, that they actually owe me $15,000 and I'm not monitoring them. So I'm going to definitely click that. Ridgeway, they also owe me money, and Pinnacle, and you know what? I'm just going to monitor all of these. So they all get added to my watch list. Going forward, if there are any important changes that take place, I'm going to receive an email alert letting me know exactly what has happened to that particular customer. So a really handy thing there. The other thing is, sometimes it can be a little bit difficult for companies to extract, their customers, their ABNs. They may not have them. This Xero and MYOB integration really helps to streamline that process. Obviously, you can bulk upload them all at once like I just did there. I had 4. However, if I've got contacts within my Xero where I don't have an ABN attached to them, which is a very common problem in the small business community. A lot of people do business with entities without the ABN, and it's a really important indicator, so you know exactly who you're dealing with. And if it unfortunately does get to the stage where you have to take them to court, or issue a statement of claim or something like that, you are going to need to have their ABN on hand. So it's really important to try to get that up front. So in this case, what we do is we take the information that we have recorded in Xero, basket case, location. That's a bit strange. They've owed me $900. I'm not quite sure which one this matches up to, so I'm just going to click skip company. All right. But then the next one we get to, we can see City Limousines. It's called 3313 in Victoria. So I can come over to here. CreditorWatch is suggesting some matches. And I'm pretty confident that it's this active one in 3103, and it's called City Limousines Melbourne. I just haven't put it into Xero correctly. Assign ABN to contact. So that way I can start receiving, alerts on them. I can start receiving credit reports, that sort of thing. So it's really, really handy tool here to just work through and ensure that you've got the correct details of this particular customer that exists in your Xero account. And start appending, obviously, the ABN to it. These ones will automatically get monitored, so they're not showing up in here. If there's any high risk associated with them, now that we've appended the ABN, we can start to check the CreditorWatch account as well. So it's really important, again, to get that ABN. The next tab along is what we call the top 10s list. So this is showing us, as you can see, accounts outstanding, overdue, and oldest invoices. So our top 10 in each of those, obviously not 10 in the overdue because I've only got 6 overdue at the moment. At any time within this Xero, or let's call it the accounting integration portal, I can click on the individual companies themselves, and that's going to take me through to the actual credit report of that particular company. So GT Tractors, we knew that they were showing up on my high risk list. So by coming through here, I can see they've got a fairly okay, so they've got an okay credit score, a few inquiries, but we can see that they do have 2 defaults registered against them. Now this is also good for those of you who are CreditorWatch customers and haven't integrated with Xero MYOB yet. You wouldn't have seen this before, but I can see that they owe me $6,800. There's 1 invoice that's outstanding and overdue. I don't have any average days to pay on this particular customer at the moment, so that suggests this is the first invoice that I've ever issued to them. However, over time, as you issue more and more invoices and they pay those invoices, CreditorWatch will actually provide you with an average days to pay, and that comes through via Xero as well. So let's have a look at the 2 defaults. So they're quite old. You can see May 2014, October 2016. Not huge amounts, and they've both been settled, so they've both been paid. So that's why the credit score isn't indicating that they're such a high risk, because we are looking at defaults that are smaller amounts and somewhat on the old side, and also they've been paid, which is great to see. If we jump in and have a look at the other ones that I clicked on, so Big Mig Entertainment, again, just one default, one adverse cross directorship. However, they do owe me $35,000, $34,000, which is quite a significant sum. Let's click on the default and we can see, again, April 2016, $4.5 grand. You can make the decision, is that something that you're really worried about, that you might want to move this particular customer onto a pay up front, cash on delivery type arrangement. The other thing that it flagged was a cross directorship. So we can see BDSM Holdings is currently deregistered. So if I wanted more information on them, I could click on them to go through. So this is the way we like CreditorWatch to work. You can start to find a little bit more information about the entities that you're dealing with, and also any associated entities that you might be dealing with as well. So clicking on accounting to go back to the accounting integration page. Scrolling further down this summary page, one thing we do provide is average days to paid, and we do that using two different models. One is days sales outstanding, and one is days beyond terms. Now, we actually provide in the help section a little bit of an explanation as to how we calculate that. So for those who want to get a little bit more technical looking at these sort of industry standard ratios and formulas, you can jump in here. It's a really good way to measure how well your receivables are being collected, particularly if you're, for instance, a director or manager within a business, and you've got someone, a finance manager or an AR manager or something like that. It's a good way to measure their performance somewhat. It's also a good way to put some goals in place for that particular individual, and say that you want to maintain a certain DSO or a certain DBT, and obviously you can review that on a monthly or quarterly basis. Gives them something to aim for, and obviously people who have got goals are typically more motivated as well. Heading down here, we're pulling some other details from Xero and MYOB. So looking at the sales, comparing last fin year to this fin year, outstandings as well, and then what is also particularly important is your age trial balance. So what you really want to see is the opposite of this graph here, where the majority of my outstandings are sitting at 90 days overdue. You really want that sitting in that current and 1 to 30 bracket. So what that means is I need to be working a little bit harder to actually collect from these people. So I clicked on there, it gives me a whole list of those people who are at over 90 days. What I want to be doing is probably putting in a good couple of days of trying to collect these 60 over 90 outstandings from this list of over 90 accounts. The older a debt gets, the harder it is to collect. So really, once it starts getting to that 60 plus, 90 plus overdue, you're really going to struggle a little bit. You're going to struggle a little bit more every single day to actually collect that. So being really the squeaky wheel, ensuring that you're on top of your receivables and your overdue customers, starting with reminder emails, reminder letters, and whatnot as soon as it's falling due, is going to help you not just ensure that you collect that debt full stop, but also significantly assist your cash flow as well. So for those of you who are CreditorWatch customers, we do have the debt collection tools, which you can click on. There's a wide variety of them now, from little welcome to new customers and reminder notices through to the more serious letter of demand over 90 days. And as you add that, we save the information, so it's much easier to actually send off an email, send off a letter each time, because we're collecting that information, so you can see existing customers Click that, and it's actually going to start pre-populating a lot of the additional information that you've already put in before. If we go back to the letters themselves, I can show you exactly what a letter of demand, for example, looks like. Produces a nice PDF for you with CreditorWatch logo at the bottom, but you can see we put your logo in, so imagine that's my company logo, big letter of demand. We're showing exactly how much is overdue and when it's required to be paid by. A list of the invoices that make up that total amount. A fairly serious statement here around registering a default if payment is not made within a certain time period. And then, of course, we've got all of the different payment types that you take. So obviously we've got credit card here, BPay, post-bill pay, that sort of thing. So all of that is set up the first time you use it, and it just makes it nice and easy. All you really have to do is add in the invoice amounts or the overdue amounts when you're creating one of these letters. So I'll jump back to the PowerPoint presentation and just recap, a couple of those features and benefits. So obviously we've got that summary page, which is giving you a nice analysis of your debtors. We'll automate credit reports for you. So as you add a new contact, a new business, a new customer to your Xero or MYOB account, we're going to push a PDF of the credit report to you. We're going to assist with bulk uploading and automating the monitoring and alerts of your customers. And then, of course, that clever name match or ABN verification that I showed you as well. That's really important to get the ABN of all of your customers. Make sure you've got them on file. Why? It's going to allow you to pull an accurate credit report on them. It's going to allow you to monitor them for changes and receive alerts. And importantly, down the track, if you have to go legal, issue a statement of claim, refer it to a debt collector, that sort of thing. It's really important to have the ABN. You're going to have it at that stage, and it ensures you know exactly who you're dealing with. When someone comes to you to buy some goods or services, you really need to know who is this person. Don't just take it on face value that they've said, yep, I'm Patrick from Patrick's Meats just down the road. Yep, no worries, Patrick. Let me grab your ABN, or have you got your legal, entity name there that I can look up to ensure that I'm dealing with the right entity. Okay, so obviously the key benefits, you want to avoid bad debtors up front. So by finding out who that person is, who that company is up front, we can do a credit check on them and reject them straight away if they've had a track record of not paying their bills. You know exactly who you're dealing with. It's a great way to clean up your database. So not only is it good from a credit management point of view, but if you've got all the correct details in there, directors, business names, addresses, etc., it's a really good way to start marketing to them, selling additional products, sending out marketing brochures, for instance. And then the last one there is that I put down is prioritize collections. So as we saw on that summary page, at the bottom of the summary page, we had the age trial balance. We really want to be avoiding having customers falling into this 60 and 90-day plus. So we've got the ability to have a look at who falls into those sections, and we can start targeting them for collections straight away internally. And then if we're having trouble, obviously, potentially looking to outsource that collections process. So that about wraps it up, almost at that 1 o'clock mark. Thank you very much for attending. I've put a couple of links in here. Now we're going to get this PowerPoint presentation and most likely a recording of this webinar sent out to you. If you use Xero and you're a CreditorWatch customer, click on this link or go to creditorwatch.com.au/Xero. MYOB, obviously it's just /MYOB. If you're new to CreditorWatch, want a little bit more information on CreditorWatch or want a little bit more information on the accounting integration, I've put in a link here which will take you to our features page on accounting integration. So feel free to click on there. Otherwise, give us a call, 1300 50 13 12, and we've got people standing by ready to chat, ready to help you out with any questions you have about integration, any questions about CreditorWatch, that sort of thing. You can also send us an email as well, admin@creditorwatch.com.au. If you have asked any questions, thank you. Hopefully the team are getting back to you at the moment. If they haven't already, and I do end this webinar in a couple of minutes, just be patient with us, bear with us, and we will get back to you in time as well. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us, and have a great week.